Ever wonder how people build real wealth? Like, not the flashy stuff you see on TV, but the
Yeah.
kinds that lasts
Right.
and builds a strong financial foundation.
Yeah.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into a book that kind of blew my mind,
Okay.
The Millionaire Next Door.
Ooh, interesting.
It turns out most millionaires aren't who you'd think. They're more likely to drive a used car than, a fancy sports car.
Right, right. They're not living these extravagant lifestyles
Exactly.
that we often associate with being a millionaire.
So the book really digs into like the habits and the mindsets
Yeah.
of these everyday millionaires. And one of the biggest takeaways for me was this idea of frugality.
Yeah, frugality is not just about being cheap.
Right.
It's a core value for them. They think differently about money.
It's like they've figured out the secret code
Yeah.
to building wealth, and the code is like, be frugal.
It is. It is. But it's
Right.
more than just cutting coupons, right?
Totally.
It's about making smart choices with your money.
So how do they actually put this frugality into practice? What are some examples from the book?
Well, they're masters at getting value for their money.
Okay.
They'll negotiate hard on big purchases like cars or houses.
Right.
They'll buy in bulk to save.
Makes sense.
And they're not afraid to do DIY projects and repairs.
Oh, interesting.
Instead of calling an expensive contractor, they'll try to fix it themselves.
So it's about being resourceful.
Exactly.
Like they're always thinking a few steps ahead with their money.
They're playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers.
Oh, that's a good analogy.
They're thinking long term, and that's a big part of their success.
I see.
And, the book also talks about this thing called lifestyle inflation,
Okay.
which is a trap that a lot of people fall into.
What is that?
Well, as people earn more money,
Right.
they often start spending more to match their new income.
Yeah, bigger house, nicer car, more vacations.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
But the millionaires in this book, they resist that urge.
Oh, interesting.
They maintain a more modest lifestyle even as their wealth grows.
Wow, so they're really disciplined.
They are incredibly disciplined.
It's not about depriving themselves,
Yeah.
but more about being intentional with their spending.
Exactly.
And that long-term thinking, that's key.
It is.
Like to understand that every dollar they spend on something they don't need
Yeah.
is a dollar that could be invested for the future.
Absolutely. And speaking of investments,
Yes.
the book emphasizes how many of these millionaires are self-made.
Right. They didn't inherit their wealth.
They built their fortunes over time
Exactly.
through a combination of smart saving and investing.
And what kind of investments are we talking about?
They often favor slow and steady methods like real estate
Okay.
or index funds.
Now, for those who aren't familiar, can you explain what an index fund is?
Sure, think of it like a basket of stocks
Okay.
that reflects a particular market index, like the S&P 500.
Got it.
So you're essentially diversifying your investment across hundreds of companies.
Right. So it's less risky than picking individual stocks.
Exactly. It's a
Ah.
more passive approach.
So it's like set it and forget it kind of
Yeah.
investing.
Pretty much.
It lets you participate in the growth of the stock market,
Over the long term, yes.
which aligns with the whole millionaire mindset.
It does. They're patient.
Right.
They're not looking for get-rich-quick schemes.
Fascinating.
And, it's not just about their own wealth either.
Oh, right. The book talks about how they raise their kids.
Exactly. They don't just spoil their kids with fancy things.
Yep.
They teach them the value of financial responsibility.
Interesting.
From a young age, they instill the importance of earning, saving, and investing wisely.
So it's like they're creating a legacy,
Absolutely.
not just of wealth, but of financial knowledge.
They break the cycle of dependence on inherited wealth.
Yeah.
They empower their children to be financially independent.
That's huge.
It is. It's about giving them the tools to create their own success stories.
So what's the biggest takeaway from all of this?
I think the biggest takeaway is that it's not about being born rich.
Right.
It's about cultivating the right mindset and habits.
Anyone can achieve financial success.
Exactly. The Millionaire Next Door shows us that living below your means, avoiding lifestyle inflation, and making smart long-term financial choices are the real keys to building wealth.
It's all about discipline and patience.
And a willingness to play the long game.
Okay, so we've talked about frugality, investing, and raising financially responsible kids.
Yes.
But what's one concrete step our listeners can take today
Okay,
to start applying these principles?
I would say start by tracking your spending for a month.
Okay.
See where your money is actually going.
Right.
You might be surprised at how much you can save or redirect towards investments.
I bet.
Just by making a few small adjustments.
Small changes can make a big difference.
Absolutely. It's all about becoming more aware and intentional with your finances.
Great advice.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the Millionaire Next Door.
It was a pleasure.
Until next time.
Bye.